Rocky, you leading on any senior players ahead of your first ever final?
No, I haven't. Darcy Byrne-Jones has had a little word to me, so he's played one and he said it's going to be hot early. So, I think you just got to go out there and just do your thing and play your role for the team. I think that's the most pleasing thing for the back half of the year, or particularly most of the year. I think everyone's done their job for the team, and I don't think finals footy changes too much. Obviously, there's going to be a lot more pressure on, but a great opportunity for us at Adelaide Oval.
Does this feel different for you, mate?
I haven't thought about it too much. Every time I do, I get a few butterflies in the stomach, so I'll try to put it aside and I'll let the last 48 hours take care of itself. But it doesn't feel different at the moment. I think probably due to the circumstance of the season, you've sort of had to roll with the punches a little bit. So at the moment, it feels like a normal week. There's no doubt the build-up over the next couple of days will start to change things, though, I'd imagine.
So how do you, mentally, you probably played a few big games, but for Brizzy especially, how do you mentally prepare for this one?
I think you just got to prepare, as I have, I suppose, throughout my whole career. Just do the preparation through the week, make sure you know the opposition, their strengths and weaknesses, how you can exploit them as best you can, but then go out there and just perform your role. Most importantly, make sure that I'm up and about, playing my role, clean with the footy, doing what I've done over the last few weeks to put myself in some decent form heading towards finals, and just go out there and do exactly the same as that.
The pace of the game, is that a hard one to adapt to?
I think AFL footy is pretty quick. When you speak to guys coming in, there's no doubt that the game's a lot quicker from anything they've experienced. So there's no doubt that it'll probably go up another notch as well. But as you said before, I think showdowns are very similar to that. They're high pressure, high pace games. So I suppose you just go about it the same way and adapt out there on the night.
What did you learn from last time you played Geelong? It's obviously a heavy loss, but what lessons have you taken in this game, do you think?
Yeah, they were outstanding, the way they took us on. They transferred the ball from our front half to their forward half really well. So there's no doubt that we've got to tinker with a few things. I think Hawkins got a lot of good opportunities one-on-one inside 50, so we've got to slow down their ball movement. But we've got to go about it a little bit differently as well and make sure that we maintain possession a little bit more than what we did that night. We just couldn't find any marks coming out of our back half, and we know how good they are early in defence, and we didn't give Charlie many opportunities. So we feel like we're in a much better position now than what we were at that time, and we didn't have our best night and they had an outstanding night, and it was a credit to them how well they played and took our game off us. So we've just got to go out there, play Port Adelaide footy, which has held up really well all season, and there's a reason we've finished where we did, and a good opportunity to play in front of our home members at Adelaide Oval and get the ball rolling for finals.
You mentioned ball when something inspires more pressure in the line than actually relying on the bloke that's standing next to them?
Yeah, I think so. I think you look at their last two bouts, I think Tom Cleary kept him markless last year, and I think that's the first time it's been done in nearly Tom Hawkins' career. And then obviously last time we played him, he was probably best on ground and marked everything that went inside 50. So I think there's no doubt that the pressure from up the field, particularly through the midfield, if they're coming out the front with easy ball, Dangerfield, Selwood, Menengola, Guthrie, they've got so many good players through there, Duncan. Most forwards are going to get an opportunity. So it's important that we as a midfield group and as a forward line group have pressure on the footy so that we can get some help defence, TJ coming off, Trent McKenzie coming off, so we don't isolate that one-on-one matchup, because we know how good Tom is. He's had an outstanding season, All-Australian full forward, Coleman medalist, so we've just got to limit the supply and the quality of supply that he gets.
Will Cleary have a bit of a point to prove, do you think, after having his colours all over the little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I think Klaus has had an outstanding year, an outstanding couple of years, and really prides himself on performances against big opponents. So there's no doubt he was probably a little bit disappointed with how he went last time, but as I touched on before, the ball that Tom was getting, there's no doubt that it made his job a lot easier than what we made Klaus's.
Tom, at any stage throughout last 5 or so years, did you fear I may retire without playing a final, particularly watching Brisbane last season? I didn't think I would. I think my first season at Brisbane, 2009, they played finals and I wasn't playing at the time, and I just thought it happened from there. A young bloke coming in, that they won their first final, and then you sort of just expect, next year we'll go on, we'll get better from there, and then when it doesn't happen, you've got to really appreciate the moment that you live in. And the last 2 years we've provided ourselves with opportunities to play finals footy. Haven't been able to go on with the job. I think we were 11-4 my first year down here, and then last year we were thereabouts until the last couple of games, and we still could have played finals footy, but it didn't go that way. Where this season I think we've got a different mix, and you aspire to play finals footy. That's why everyone plays. I think at the start you just want to build your career, and then you want to play finals, and that's where reputations are made. So there was probably an element of, is it going to ever happen? And credit to Brisbane how well they've done as well. They turned it around really quick, but my focus is solely on Port Adelaide and living in the moment at the moment. I think speaking to the young guys as well, I think it's important that you realise that you've got to grab an opportunity when this comes. You've got to make sure that you grab it, because we know that the competition's so even and only 8 teams play finals footy and 10 miss out. So we're in a lucky position at the moment. We've worked hard to get to where we are, and we want to make the most of it.
Does reputation matter to you, Rocky, in that sense, when you say big games they can forge the way people reflect on your career?
Not necessarily. I think you look at guys that have come before me. I barracked for Richmond growing up, so I look at Matthew Richardson. I think he was one of the best players to ever play the game. Kicked 800 odd goals, and he didn't play in a premiership. He didn't play in a lot of finals footy. So for me, it's just making the most out of my career, and I think I want to go out on a high note. If that is with the premiership, hopefully this year, and then build on what we've done next year as well. So I would love to play in a premiership. There's no doubt about that. I don't think I've hidden away from that fact. I've spoken about it numerous times. Personal reputation doesn't really matter. I think it's more about the team and the performance, and it's obviously a huge year for the football club, being 150 years, so we'd like to celebrate it the right way.
Did you think it would happen this quickly when you joined, when you say you missed the finals the first couple of years, and all of a sudden it's like no longer the ball with rapid rise? Did you think it would happen this quick?
I probably thought it happened earlier, to be honest. Like when we're sitting 11-4, I think that year we'd beaten Richmond, Melbourne, the Western Bulldogs Thursday night, Friday night footy, and we're humming, thinking, okay, how far can we go? And then it gets taken away from you. And I spoke about it before. You've got to grab these opportunities when they come, and we've earned the right to play finals footy. And I think Kenny's had that focus. We've been pretty aggressive in the trade and draft periods, and Chris Davies and his team have been very aggressive about that and haven't hidden away from the fact that we want to play finals footy and we want to play deep finals footy. So I'm not surprised. I think we've got a great group. We've got a lot of older senior heads amongst the group. We've got some great, outstanding young talent coming through, but the guys that are really driving the group at the moment are your Darcy Byrne-Jones, Dan Houston, that middle tier type of guys that have really come on, want to make the most of the opportunity. I think guys, again, like Carl Amon out on the wings had an outstanding season. So it's those guys in the sort of mid part of their career that are really driving the group, and everyone feeds off that energy.
Are you at your best now? You feel like you've battled a little bit, a few problems, and do you feel like you're cherry ripe?
Yeah, I do. I think the last couple of years I've sort of limped to the line a little bit. I've had shoulder issues that have been well documented, and felt like I haven't been at my best throughout the seasons, but I feel like this year, I know I had a little spell on the sidelines through that middle part, but I feel like I've built a pretty consistent season. I started well, had that little slump, but since I've come back in, I feel like I've contributed to the team and done my role around the stoppage and helped out as much as I can. And I think the last couple of weeks, last 3 or 4 weeks, I feel like I'm building nicely to hopefully a really strong finals campaign.
What changed when you were dropped in and came back? What was the sort of turning point?
Oh, yeah, it was. I think we were trying to change a few things around the midfield as well. Dan Houston Ryan Burton had come back in, and then Houston obviously went back to the midfield. And once I didn't get that, I obviously got shifted out because we were carrying one too many inside midfielders, which was fair enough. My form at the time didn't warrant selection, so I just knew that I had to go back, perform as hard as it was in the 15-on-15s that we got. For me, it's always been about one touch, making sure that I'm clean with the footy. I think everyone knows I'm not going to break away from a pack and take 4 bounces and kick a goal or anything like that. I think everyone understands that my work's done inside the contest, so I've got to make sure that that's where it's at, and then also a little bit of a defensive mid-role, making sure that if they're winning and it's coming out scrappy, making sure my tackling's where it needs to be, and just getting hands in there here and there to force turnovers and give us opportunities the other way.
Why do you think a team that has been top all season and finishes as much is still the 4th favourite to the flag? Something to prove or unproven, or why do you think you're sort of underrated?
Yeah, well, I think Kenny might have even spoken about it. You've got Geelong, I think they've played, 12 of the last 14 final series or something like that. They've been there, they've done it before, they've got premiership players. Richmond have obviously won 2 of the last 3, probably stiff not to have won 3 out of 3. And then Brisbane were there last year, they've experienced it. We know that the final series is going to be pretty much based in Brisbane, so it's an opportunity for them. But throughout the season, we've enjoyed and thrived on proving people wrong, and I think we'll continue to do that. We're happy with where it sits. If people want to rate us 4th, they can rate us 4th. We've got a huge game against Geelong on Thursday night, and hopefully people are talking about how well we've played and how far we've come in a short period of time, and hopefully we're one step closer to a grand final berth.
Do you reckon you get some sleep Wednesday night?
Yeah, it'll be tough. I might have to go see the doctors on Wednesday after the captain's run just to give me something to help me settle the night before. There's no doubt I'll be excited about that. Shana's just told me that she's working Thursday morning, so I'm going to have to be up with the young bloke, make sure I'm entertaining him Thursday morning. So it's probably a good thing. It gives me the ability to not think about the game all day and take your mind off it. But yeah, it's something that I think's been well documented. 200 odd games without a finals appearance. So it's felt like my career's always sort of built to this moment, and I can't wait to run out there on Adelaide Oval in front of the faithful and hopefully get the job done.